So good day. So our topic for today is taxation 103. So this is part of our series of taxation. So we already have taxation 101, taxation 102, and now taxation 103. So our learning objective for this one is number one, to be able to understand what is tax incentive, to be able to differentiate each tax incentive program, to be able to determine what is tax holiday, and to be able to know the incentive for the Bureau of Investment and the regional headquarters. So what is tax incentive? Usually, tax incentive is a measure or is a government measure that is intended to encourage individual and business to spend or save money by reducing the amount of tax that they have to pay. So normally, incentive programs are being offered by the government to those who wanted to build business here in the country or in the Philippines. So ginagawa ito para nang sa ganon, yung mga individual magbi-build or magiging entrepreneur or gagawa ng mga panibagong business dito sa Pilipinas. Why is that so? Bakit ini-encourage yun ng government? Kasi nga, kapag ka merong mga mag-invest sa Philippines or gagawa ng mga businesses, so number one, it will provide employment. Number two, it will be able to generate more income tax for those who were employed, for those that they had to pay. Number two, mas gagalaw yung economy ng Philippines. So, mas tataas yung mga GDP tsaka GNP natin. So, ito yung mga ginagawa nila para nang sa ganun, mag-encourage yung mga investor na mag-invest or maglagay ng mga business here in the Philippines. So, to attract the foreign and domestic investor, the government usually offer various tax incentive, principally through the Board of Investment pursuant to EO 226, as amended otherwise known as the Omnibus Investment Code of 1987. So, ano ba itong EO na to? The EO, or also known as the Omnibus Investment Code of 1997, is an overall declaration of government policy on investment initiative, whether made by foreign or domestic corporation. Ito kasi ginagawa ito so that the government is committed to encourage investment in a desirable areas or activities so that they would be able to integrate and clarify or harmonize the provision and guidance for the domestic investor. So, ini-encourage kasi ng mga Filipino or ng ng foreign investor in the industry such as agricultural. Ano pa ba yung mga usual? Yung forestry, mining, tourism, and other known so that they would be able to provide more attractions and more money for the people. Kasi kapag ka nagkaroon ng isang bagong establishment, usually tataas yung value ng mga properties doon, tapos magiging employed pa yung mga tao doon. So, they encourage now a fruitful citizen here in the Philippines. Yun yung reason kaya nagbibigay ng mga tax incentive. So, pinababaan yung tax para nang sa ganun, matutulungan ng mga investor na to na maabot ng government, ng Philippine government, yung fiscal adequacy na gusto ng tax. Yung isa sa purpose ng tax. Kasi nga hindi pa natin na-attain yun, normally deficit. Nangungutang yung government in able for us to be able to finance the different projects of the government. So, ano ba yung mga incentive for the Bureau of Investment? So, number one is the export incentive. So, normally, the export incentive is given or yung mga magbebenta outside. So, ipopromote yung mga product ng Philippines outside the Philippines. Pinibigyan yun ang tawag doon, export incentive. So, number one is that, bakit ba may ganun? Kasi, di ba, kung mapapansin mo, yung mga transactions, we need dollar. Kaya kung mapapansin mo, di ba, yung mga in-export na services such as the OFW, they were given tax exemption. So, hindi sila nagbabayad ng tax. So, this is the reason behind that. Number one, income tax holiday. So, this gives a full exemption for the corporate income tax for 6 years for pioneer firms and those locating in a less developed area and 4 years for non-pioneer firms. So, dito daw, yung corporate income tax, hindi muna sila magbabayad ng income tax. Hanggang ilang taon? Hanggang 6 na taon kapag kakaka-start pa lang nila ng business nila dito sa Pilipinas. O di kaya, mag-start sila ng business dun sa mga hindi pa masyadong developed na lugar dito sa Philippines. Kasi, yung mga underdeveloped na places, ang nangyayari kasi yung mga tao doon, lilipat pa doon sa develop. Like, for example, those people in the province would normally go here in Metro Manila or sa Makati so that they would be able to find jobs. Pero kung yung mga firm na to magpupunta sa mga less developed places, so yung mga tao doon, hindi na sila lilipat pa ng ibang country. Kasi ang nangyayari, yung mga developed places here in the Philippines, nagiging overpopulated or overcrowded. On the reason that people from the provinces wanted to go in the Manila area so that they would be able to find jobs. So dahil ang gusto ng government, hindi ganun yung mangyari, or hindi maging overcrowded yung ibang lugar, kasi kapag overcrowded, mamahal yung housing, mamahal yung bilihin, kasi mas maraming nag-aagawan for that. Kung mapupunta yan dun sa less developed, nandun na lang yung tao, hindi na siya alis doon, so hindi ma-displace. Kumbaga, yung number of people, ganun pa din kadami. So, itong mga firms na ganito, na mag-start up pa lang dito sa Philippines, so that they would become accustomed. So, mag-invest sila. Diba sa isa business kasi pag mga initial pa lang or kaka-start pa lang, mas maraming expenses eh. So, kapag ka mga ganun yung nangyari, bibigyan sila ng government ng income tax holiday. So, hindi mo na sila magbabayad ng mga taxes. For that reason, dahil the government will wanted to encourage additional business here in the Philippines. So, meron silang tax holiday or hindi nila kailangan magbayad ng income tax. Take note, income tax only. Income tax kasi later we will discuss that income tax is different from other privilege or business taxes for 6 years for pioneer firm and those locating in less developed country, and 4 years dun sa mga hindi pioneer, yung dati na pero nagsa-start pa lang dito sa Philippines. Its period start, so nagsa-start yung tax holiday kailan? Magra-run from the date of commercial operation. Halimbawa, yung Okada, kaka-start pa lang dito. So, meron silang tax holiday. Magsa-start yun kung kailan nag-operate or nag-start na yung operations nung company na yun. Or yung target date of operation. Kasi di ba usually may mga plan naman. So, whichever is earlier. Kung sino yung mauna dun sa dalawa. If the prescribed condition are met, kung yung lahat ng mga condition na gusto ng government na mangyari ay natanggap nila, then they could still have the extension of additional 3 years. However, take note that the extension cannot extend beyond 8 years. So, ibig sabihin, 4 or 6 years plus yung exemption na 3 years, that would now be 9. So, hindi daw inaalaw yun ng government. Ang iaalaw lang ng government ay hanggang 8 years. Okay? So, yun yung sa tax incentive for the income tax. So, ang maximum is 8 years. Yung una ibibigay, 6 years, pwede silang mag-extend ng additional 3 years. However, meron siyang ceiling, which is 8 years. Okay? Next, so ano pa ba yung mga binibigay for this? So number 1, the taxes and duties exemptions on imported spare parts and supplies for registered enterprise with custom bonded manufacturing warehouse exporting at least 70% annual production if foreign and 50% if Philippine-owned. So yung exempted din sila sa mga taxes and duties on importations. Kasi sa Philippines kasi, kapag mag-i-import ka, kahit na personal service lang, halimbawa, ako, gusto ko ng watch galing sa US, so dapat kasi taxable yon. Although, hindi kasi masyadong na-check ng government. Dapat lahat ng importation under VAT, all imported items that would go here in the Philippines should be taxable. Why? Kasi daw, bakit siya kailangang matax? Kasi, nakikilaban siya dun sa mga local produce. So, syempre, the Philippines wanted what? Wanted the Filipino people to buy, or ang bilhin nila ay yung mga ginagawa ng kapwa nila Pilipino. They wanted to have a higher price for the foreign product. Kaya tinatax nila. Pero, take note, exemption kung kasama ka dito sa BOI or the Bureau of Investment. Kasi sabi na, kapag kayong mga spare parts or supplies for this registered or a custom manufacturing, 70% ng production are foreign-owned up. Pagka ganon, exempted din. Or 50% nung Filipino-owned. Full deduction of cost on major infrastructure undertaken by the enterprise in a less developed areas. So normally, ang taxes kasi natin cash basis. Pero sila, binibigyan sila ng leeway na i-deduct na nila yung buong amount. additional deduction of 50% of the incremental labor expenses if prescribed ratio of the capital asset to annual labor is met and 100% of the incremental labor is located in a less developed. So, take note, lahat din daw ng mga incremental or pagpataas ng labor para dun sa asset, dinededuct din daw yun kapag ka, yung mga incentive. So, i-deduct yun in 50% or 100% kapag ka located in a less developed area. Kasi they wanted what? The government wanted na yung mga development or ma-develop yung mga less developed area. Kaya kung papansin mo, mas mataas yung binigay sa kanila. Next, ano pa? Exemption from wharfage or any export tax duties or fees. So, yung lahat ng mga bibili nila ng export duties, exempted din yun. Basta na-fall sila under. The tax credit equivalent to taxes and duties paid on purchases of raw material supplies and semi-manufactured product for forming parts of the product for the export. So, yung mga export, so yung mga product na from here, dadalhin sa ibang bansa, tax-free yun, or zero-rated nga yung tawag nila doon. Hindi yun tinatax kasi nga, nag-generate sila ng more dollar, which is needed ng Philippines as backup para sa transaction sa international market. Exemption from real property tax for machinery for the first 3 years of operation. So, lahat ng mga machines na binibili nila for the first 3 years, exempted din yun. Okay? So, incentive for the regional headquarters. Pero ano ba yung regional headquarter? So, si regional headquarter, ito kasi yung mga established corporation or nagtatayo ng mga regional offices dito sa Pilipinas by the multinational, but which are headquarters. So, yung mga headquarters that do not earn or derive income from the Philippines, but act as a supervisory, communication, and coordinating center for their affiliate subsidiaries, branches in the Asia-Pacific or foreign market. So, ano ba yung nangyayari dito? So, itong mga RHU kasi, or Regional Head Office, sila yung mga nag-establish lang dito sa Philippines para sa coordination. So, wala silang kinikita sa Pilipinas. Like, for example, yung mga call center. Diba sa call center, di naman sila nagbebenta ng mga products dito sa Pilipinas. Anong ginagawa nila? Sinusource out lang yung mga tao so that they would be able to connect or communicate dun sa mga different countries kasi mas mura yung labor dito sa Philippines. So, yung mga ganun, binibigyan niya ng leeway or ng additional tax exemptions ng government. Why? Kasi nga, nagpo-promote siya ng additional work for the people. Pero di naman siya kumikita dito sa Philippines. So, dahil may additional work for the people, kikita yung mga tao. So, aangat yung pamumuhay ng mga Filipino people. So, ano ba yung mga exemptions na binibigay nila? So, itong mga RHU na to, binibigyan siya ng mga preferential rate. So, yung tax niya, 10% lang. Meron din siyang exemption to all kinds of the local tax, fees, and charges imposed by the local government unit. Siyempre, hindi lang kasama yung mga real property tax and improvement kasi usually nag-own sila ng sarili nilang business. Yung mga import duties for equipments, material, or training and conference for the needed and use solely for the function as the RHU and are not local available subject to the BOI. So, yung mga duties and importations, exempted din yun. Basta, yun ay para lang dun sa ROU. Yung mga importations ng mga vehicles nila, exempted din yun. And exemption on the travel and specific migration in VAT, zero-rated sila. Okay? Okay, so hopefully you like this video. If you like this video, please help me reach out more people by hitting the subscribe and the like button below. God bless you. If you have questions, please comment. Bye-bye!